Hi, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it is that day. What a day. I always feel like the hour before this show starts is just like the quickest hour of my life. And every time I set my alarms and I have snooze, and those are the quickest 9 minutes, well, the second quickest 9 minutes that I've ever had in my life. And so I apologize. I sound a little harried and frenzied and stuff like that, but it's been quite a day. Hello, Myra J. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sybil Wilkes. Not as good as you, but I'm hanging in there.
Oh, you're doing better. Trust and believe. Hey, Stephen, got nothing Hill. How are you?
Got nothing. Oh, I'm doing spectacularly. I'm on a cleanse. So there's
something.
that. And I think we found a place where we're going to have our wedding. So there's that. There's that.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. The first 5 minutes. And okay. All right.
The first part, yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Hey, Kwyn, how are you? Kwyn Townsend Riley?
I'm doing good. It's the second day of classes for my final semester, and things have been smooth so far. So
far, so good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You're on that way to becoming a massa.
I know. Oh, wait. No, not a master. I have my masters. Let's not trigger Black people.
It was really fun watching her face shift. It was so much fun watching her face shift in that moment.
And for those that are listening, Kwyn has quite a way of, as Stephen Hill has said, shifting her face. So
cover my face right now.
Yeah, there's that one. There's the questioning, almost like the RCA Victor dog.
I know.
You know, that kind of thing. But yes, that is an ancient reference. Myra, how's the weather?
The weather here today is absolutely wonderful. I believe it was in the mid 50s and blah, blah, blah. Now, I know a couple of days ago it was the snow, ice, but apparently in this particular area in Smyrna, Mother Nature must have got the warning, said, we ain't about that black ice. Because I got nothing.
Really?
A few pellets of ice on the deck. That was it. No snow, no nothing. And people, it was so funny because people kept posting on Facebook pictures of their faces smashed against the window going, I'm waiting on them flakes.
Can't tell you how many times. Kwyn, yes.
But they said a similar storm front is moving through tomorrow night. So it's like, don't give up hope. We may get black ice yet again this weekend. So
and there's nothing like that black ice.
Okay. Yes, honey.
And how's the weather there? I know that
we're
you
still
guys
talking about ice. Okay.
Right. Ice.
I always have to double check because I don't want to be out the loop. But yeah.
The real ice. Or maybe not. Kwyn, I know that Illinois kind of dodged the bullet that hit the East Coast last weekend. How about you? How are things?
Yes, it definitely, we have a couple of inches of snow, but because I stay on the university campus, there's salt. So luckily I haven't slipped and, slid yet, but there has been like a few ice on the roads. I do see it like in my little Kia. So,
is it black ice?
It is black ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm driving like 12.
It's the most powerful ice of all.
That's right. Respect the black ice. And Stephen Hill, you look like you're on the other side of the
Has anybody
world.
ever slid on black ice?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm in Los Angeles.
Right.
You notice when you slide on black ice, it's so slow, and you turn the wheel, and the wheel's like, I got nothing for you. And you just keep moving slowly to the side of the road.
Yeah. And I had a bad accident with black ice one time on the Dan Ryan Expressway, actually. And I hit the black ice, and my car spun around, and I was facing an oncoming dump truck. Yeah. Luckily, I'm here. That was a few years ago, but yeah. So I have had that experience.
When I first moved here, and they always panic if it's going to be an inch of snow, they buy up the groceries and blah blah blah, and they were saying, "Oh my God, it's gonna snow. I'm like, I'm from Chicago. How bad could it be? And I had just got my first little convertible. I look outside. I don't see any snow. I'm like, oh, these little Georgia punks. I went to pull my cute little convertible out the driveway. And before I got to the street, that car had turned sideways. I got out the car, slammed the door, and I said, and you will sit your ass there till you learn how to get out of a driveway correctly.
That's
and my
funny.
car sat outside for like 3 days.
Until June.
Yeah, I'm like, nope. I didn't even try to put it back in the garage. That ice is no joke.
Let's talk about what's going on in the world. And I don't know if you all had a chance today, if your schedules allowed it, for watching the world's longest presidential news conference. Pretty close to 2 hours. The president answered questions, talked about his first year in office. Of course, tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of his inauguration. And for, like I said, pretty close to 2 hours, he sat. Well, no, he didn't. He stood and answered questions, some ridiculous, some necessary. But he did talk a bit about his first year in office. It began, and he acknowledged some of the good things that have happened this year, and also acknowledged that they still got a ways to go. Talking about the frustration and fatigue, most of it COVID related, as you might expect, as we have all experienced. In his remarks, he said that he's a lot of progress in the economy, the millions of jobs that have been filled, the lower unemployment, fighting COVID. But he said, still, for all this progress, we know there's a lot of frustration and fatigue, and we know why. COVID-19 has been challenging us in a way that it's the new enemy, and the enemy still lives. It exists. He did talk about, trying to do it. One question that was interesting to me is from concerned parents in the media, in the News Corps, asking about that the last virus vaccine that we need, and that's for children 5 and under. Mm-hmm. Are you? Is anybody? Well, he said they're working on it.
There you go. Brilliant.
But I mean, what more can he say? He said it's that they are the tiniest patients, and they have to work this out in terms of the doses and what have you for the children. He said they're still working on it. But he did say that the whole situation is going to improve, and people are calling what's happening now the new normal. He calls a job not finished yet. And there were a couple of other things that he did talk about. First of all, he said that regarding what his administration has done well. Yeah, as I mentioned, as far as the economy, he did talk about the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan, and saying there was no easy way to pull out of the country after 20 years. And just as he was talking about that, they had released a video of those people in Afghanistan who were killed as all of this was going on in the month of August, and it was quite horrific to see that and to have that in your mind as he's talking about Afghanistan. He did talk about the Voting Rights Act, which is scheduled to go down in flames tonight. That is the expectation regarding both of them, but he said there may be some ways to carve out, like the John Lewis Act, and have that go in some other bills, and hopefully they will go that. But he maintains that he's got Black voters' backs. He did say that, responding to those who believe that his priority to passing the voting rights legislation was a last-minute PR push, that he did not do enough soon enough to get this done, and how we are where we are. And he says there's still a number of things that we can do. And as I mentioned, the taking up a chunk, as he said, of the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and still be passed if the overall legislation is defeated. And one question about the voting rights and about voting rights, the whole issue of it, and assigning the vice president to handle that. And I think it was Kristen Welker of NBC who said, how do you feel? Are you satisfied with the way she has handled this? And will she be your running mate in 2024? And he said yes and yes.
Okay.
So there you go. All right.
There you go. How are you all feeling?
Meanwhile, Kamala was like, who's going to be who's running mate? You got this twisted, player.
Oh, you think?
Kamala, look, I said this first in the year 2017. Kamala Harris will be your president 4 years from tomorrow.
I'm not doubting that, and I have this isn't even a confession. I honestly feel this. I'm so glad she's not president right now.
Oh God, yeah.
I really am, because if they're giving him
hell,
this amount of hell,
yeah.
Can you imagine if she was president right now? And
if you thought Barack got it,
that they would be clowning. So I really hope she's taking notes, taking names, trying to get her team, her forces together, so that if the opportunity does arise for her, Madam President is ready to step in and keep it moving.
Yes, I don't want Kamala Harris as president. I would rather have Stacey Abrams, or maybe perhaps I would even settle for AOC, just somebody that's a bit more, not socialist, but for the people. Grassroots, I would say, more grassroots. Yeah.
I think that even if Stacey Abrams were the current vice president, I still think that she would be more in the mode of the Democratic mainstream as opposed to being grassroots. I think that that's what the office calls for, Kwyn, and I'm not sure that it would be that much different. AOC would be the spark as the next president for sure. But I think that, and I could be wrong, but my feeling about Stacey Abrams is she's been in politics long enough that she would be more of she wouldn't be middle of the road Democrat. I think she would be a little to the left, but I don't think that she would be as grassroots as she is now or has been in the past.
I mean, I don't know if I don't want to say that she's like sold her soul.
Oh no.
But I don't think anybody really has, like, to the Democratic politics. But I do feel like when there is a certain surrendering or silence on like certain topics, and I feel like Kamala has been silent for a lot of things and like vocal about things that actually don't align with like the way that I do, like as an activist. But Stacey Abrams has like publicly said things like, okay, I actually do trust her, and I feel like she actually would take our nation to a better place. It may not be as loud, but I know. What are you gonna say?
You think Stacey Abrams wants to? Do you think Stacey Abrams wants to be president? Is that a goal of hers?
I hope. I don't know. I don't know if she said she wanted to, but I want you to.
Well, when there was the question of the women that were on the list to be his vice presidential choices, those that the women, and she said, "Well, who said I wanted to be on the list for vice president?" Well, you're not asking me about president, and so I don't know if it was just a smart remark on her part, or enough to get attention, or whether she really wants to be president. I hope that what she does has a successful run and become governor of Georgia, and then use that as the springboard for the next. Do you think, Steve? Do you think she wants to be president, Stephen Hill?
I don't think she wants to be. I mean, everything that I know about her, or that I've seen about her, makes me think that she wants to be for the people, right? To Kwyn's point, like that's her sweet spot. And the president can't be for the progression of people. Sometimes it has to be for sustaining the status quo. And I don't think she's interested in that. So I don't find nothing about her makes me think she wants to keep seeing trot upon people move forward, and the president has to be about more than that. It's the same thing. It's the same rap that Obama got in his first year. You're not doing enough for the people. You're not doing enough for the people. And that's and he's like, I'm trying to do it for every people, so I can't do it for just the Democrat. So
right. So I think the conversation will continue. I do want to move on to a couple of other things. Last night came word about the death of the fashion icon and the legend Andre Leon Talley. Did any of you know him? Had any of you ever met him?
I never met him.
I hadn't either. Stephen Hill, had you met?
No,
Andre?
I had not.
You had not. Well, they say that
I saw him from across the room.
Okay, well, you were in the space.
He just kind of floats.
Yeah. He did have that.
Was he as large a presence in person?
There was an aura. There was a glow.
Yes.
There was a glow.
Yes.
Floated. Is he gonna? He did have a grace. He had a grace.
The man who was the former creative director and one-time editor-at-large passed away at White Plains, New York hospital Tuesday. He was instrumental, as the news reports have indicated, to Vogue's vision and direction in the 80s and 90s, and working his way up the magazine ranks to eventually become the news director, that position he held from 83 to 87, and then went on to become the creative director in 1988. And he was in that position for, they say, about 7 or 8 years. And so he is definitely going to be remembered as a trailblazer, and how he really did push for people of color's inclusion in this industry. Whether it was the models or the designers, or now here's the one, and here's the one thing that I did not like about Andre Leon Talley, and that was the way that he dressed Jennifer Hudson at the Academy Awards when she was nominated for Dreamgirls. I thought that was awful. It was like oh, Myra, I don't know if we can, Chica, if you can find the picture of Jennifer Hudson at the Academy Awards when she was nominated for Dreamgirls, for which she won. And it was like a Ming the Merciless kind of collar on it, and it was brown, and it was just awful. I was just like, this. I do not remember this at all. Why would you put that on her? But anyway, if that's the worst that he ever did, good on him, because he really did take people under his wing and try to help them. And so that is the loss of a real not only in the fashion industry, but a real icon as a human being for the way that he treated a lot of people. Also lost a trailblazer in basketball, Lucia Harris, the only woman inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. Officially drafted by the NBA, and she has died at the age of 66. She won 3 national championships at Delta State and scored the first points of the first team of women basketball players at the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
She was recently a part of a documentary about her life called The Queen of Basketball. So if you get a chance to check that out, this African-American woman, she was bad to the bone. And how could you not say that when she's the only woman to be officially drafted in the NBA? So good on her. Wow. And what a woman indeed. The last thing I want to talk to you about is Cardi B is stepping up, and she has announced that she is going to be going back to her roots, and she has offered immediate support to those in need, and she's going to be helping those who were rocked by the tragedy of the horrific fire in Brooklyn just last week. And she's going to be paying for the funeral and burial costs of those killed in that fire that killed 17 people.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's a big deal. That's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. This is the Bronx. I don't know if I said Brooklyn, but I meant Bronx. The Bronx building, 120 unit tower on January 9th as the fire ripped through there. And victims ranged in age from 2 years of age to 50. And she said that she's going to cover both the funeral and the burial expenses, has teamed up with the new mayor's fund to advance New York City to make sure that everyone is covered and the wishes of their families are met.
Wow. That is so nice. I always love to hear when particularly artists, because everybody has their own style and thing. And even if I don't necessarily agree with their art per se, but when they step forth as a humanitarian, you gotta love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta love that.
So you didn't like WAP?
Look, I can WAP with them.
No. Same WAP, not same WAP, Myra. Not same WAP. Nope.
Myra, you know the song.
Yours got O.
Megan Thee Stallion. WAP. What the hell? Why wouldn't I know about WAP? Duh.
Because you're doing the dance from the 80s. That's why.
No. Because I'm sitting in my chair and I can't get down on the floor.
Well, if you can't get on the floor, if you can't slide down on the floor from your chair, then you clearly don't have WAP.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Oh,
I can't speak for anybody else on this panel, but I think.
Trust me.
Wait, hold on. Sybil, you're speaking for Myra's. Are we going to go down this rabbit hole?
Whether I can. No, we're not.
For Myra's. Okay, there.
I can't. I can't. I wasn't speaking for Myra. I was speaking for. And the fact that, whether you have WAP right now or not doesn't mean that you can't.
Got it. 100%. I'm tagging out of this one. You are right.
I'm making sure you like her music. That's not my favorite.
Yeah, you've been WAP'd out. Okay.
I am following.
Oh boy, has he.
I am following Nicole Madison's. I'm following Nicole Madison's advice. Please be quiet, Stephen Hill. I shall be right now.
Oh, you merry little fellow, you. Okay, let's go to what's really going on. And Stephen Hill, you and I talked about this earlier, and I did want to talk about this in this particular segment because I still have questions, Stephen Hill. And talking about Prince's estate this week, valued at $156.4 million, almost double the earlier appraisal. After 6 years, almost 6 years, Stephen Hill.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Is that as hard for you guys to believe as it is for some of the rest of us? I mean, it's just like 6 years.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you don't have a will, my friends. This is what
let's talk
when
about
you don't
that.
will.
Let's talk about that because the long into this process, and almost 6 years into this process, and talking about the necessity of a will, the estate's outgoing administrator valued it the estate originally at 82.3. That had a lot of outrage from a number of people, not the least of which were his heirs. And as I said, and as Stephen Hill pointed out, he died without leaving a will. The Internal Revenue Service valued it at the amount closer to $163.2 million. And now an agreement has been reached to the 156. And so Londell McMillan, the attorney for his siblings, said at the close of the hearing, the long, complicated, and costly process of settling the estate, which is said to have cost tens of millions of dollars to get to this point. 6 of his siblings or half-siblings were determined to be heirs, as well as Primary Wave Music, and his 3 oldest siblings hold ownership of the estate. So, Stephen Hill, when we were texting the other day, I was like, is this not ridiculously low? And you said, that's a lot of money. It is for me, for you. But
so here's a couple.
And I was thinking about his catalog. That's what I was thinking about, his publishing rights and things like that.
I think it's potential for this moment. Okay, so there are a few things. So how you have if you own a house and the tax is assessed on the house, the government figures out how much your house is worth, and then you have to pay a tax on that. And your goal is to make your house be as low in value as possible.
Right.
That's your goal. Your goal is to make your house seem as in value as possible. Like, I got these potholes, all the thing drips. It's not worth what you say, because the whole point is, usually on houses and usually on house assessments, even the government comes in a bit lower, but you always want low, but you want to take it lower. So the family would want it assessed. The family actually wanted it assessed at like 80 some odd million, right? Mm-hmm. They wanted to lowball because this is all about how much you have to pay taxes on. Right. That's it. It's not about
the real value of what you. Yeah.
Right. And so it's in the government's best interest to highball, while it's in the heir's best interest to lowball. So this valuation of 154 or something?
156.4.
156.4 is not what it's worth by any stretch of the imagination. And even when you're assessing a house, usually the IRS will lowball even your house. So even at this 163 that the government was trying to make it, it's worth. Everybody realizes it's more than that, right? No one is ever going to want to tell you how much. You're going to find out how much it's worth when you hear that the siblings have sold the masters, sold the copyrights.
Oh, copyright.
to hypnosis or somebody else. That's when you'll find out how much it's worth. How much it's worth is how much somebody's willing to pay for it. These are just numbers trying to get away from taxes at this point.
Got it. So
unless you, go ahead.
No, I was just going to
put Nicole. I'm shutting up, Nicole.
One of the questions I am asking in what's really going on is, what do you think is Prince's most valuable song, in your opinion? Just as we're talking about the rights and as well as your favorite song, what would you think is, in your opinion, what is Prince's most valuable song? Steve, I'm going to ask you and Myra, especially as his fan, and of course, Kwyn, if you have, you want to get in this as well. But Myra, you were going to say?
Oh, I was going to go way off the subject, so let's stay here.
Well, we can take a little bit of a turn there. If it's not unlike we don't take a turn from time to time.
No, let's talk about Prince.
Okay, that's good.
You're saying what
would you consider to be his most valuable song in your as a major Prince fan?
As a major Prince fan,
and this is strictly your interpretation of the music of your favorite.
Of the value of how it could be used and where it could be used and how many people want to use it. Purple Rain was probably the most
Purple Rain. That hands down, Purple Rain. Yeah.
Followed closely by Kiss, because it has such great commercial applications, right? Kiss and Most Beautiful Girl in the World actually have probably more commercial application than anything in his arsenal.
Yeah.
Y'all are right there.
Yeah. I was gonna say Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Yep.
And I was gonna say the same thing.
Stephen Hill, and if you're not thinking in terms of that, what is your favorite? Let's talk about your favorite Prince songs.
It moves around.
So today,
moves around.
Right.
A door.
Okay.
A door.
And today it's a door.
Yes.
What was
and
it
for my favorite album? It was The Breakdown. One of his last songs that he released is just a great encapsulation of how he felt about his move to Hollywood and how he had grown. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you could give a course. I don't know if Brown has ever contacted you about coming back and teaching, but I think you would be the professor there of a class on Prince for sure. And then you could also show your interview with Prince. Myra, what about you in terms of your favorites?
Well,
what's most valuable to you?
When you have that WAP, it's International Lover.
Take a sip, Myra.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's right. Fuel the engine, Myra. Fuel the engine.
For the folks that are watching and listening, we want to hear from you as well. As far as your favorite or most valuable song to
yes.
When Doves Cry is C.M. Williams on Facebook. Absolutely. Beautiful. And Beautiful Ones, Brian Scott says on Facebook. I like that one too, Brian. I always love when Brian has his suggestions and comments on this. What about you, young Kwyn? And we'll get to you, Clarence.
Controversy.
And were you ever confused by what the word was?
Controversy when I was younger.
Did you ever think that it was count your something?
No, I just used to definitely think, and we can have a discussion about this, but I definitely used to think that sometimes the vocal range that Prince has on that song reminds me of Lady by Lenny Kravitz. So I know when I was younger, I used to like kind of confuse the two, but my dad would instantly snap me like, that is Prince. That is not Lenny. I was like, okay, my bad.
Go to your room.
Right, it'll be a whole thing. So I know controversy, Prince. Like,
that's fun.
But I will say the most moving song I ever heard him perform, I was in Chicago and he sang "What If God Was One of Us." Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ripped the house down. And I never heard him do it again. And I was sitting in the audience just waiting, like, I know he's going to do it again. Never heard him sing it again.
You can see it's on the Emancipation album. It's on the 3-disc set that he did in 1996.
Someone actually sent it to me after. Yes.
I am also reminded that my favorite Prince song is Rip Pop Go to Zipper because it contains the lyric "Precious" by Shantae rocking on the box.
Are you kidding?
Precious by Shantae rocking on the box. This can't be. I'm sorry. No,
I love to see you get into that. Yolanda, could you give us those? We cut you off there as you were giving us people's suggestions there. So if you would do that, I appreciate it. Cheryl Morgan on Facebook says Raspberry Beret. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, how come you don't call me anymore? I just gets me every time.
Hey.
Look at there. The missus watching you on Facebook Live. Hello, Shantae Moore. Thank you. And Shantae, what's your favorite Stephen Hill song? While we're at this.
No.
Oh, that girl on YouTube says, let's go crazy.
Depending on the mood, you cannot sit still when that song comes on.
That's true.
You just can't.
That's true. So, Myra, would you say when you saw Prince in Chicago, that was your favorite memory of Prince and seeing him perform?
As good as that was, no. It was in Atlanta where I brought my son and my nieces to see him. We had great seats. We were like 8th row center. After the show, saw his manager who was like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I brought my son and nieces that they'd never seen him. He said, come back tomorrow, and stuck a ticket in my pocket. The next night, I'm front row center. I could grab his little shoes from the stage.
Oh, thank God you said shoes. Okay.
But the thing was, were you at the meeting where we met him in Chicago?
No, I was not included in that.
Yolanda was there. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, he looked down, and I don't know if he remembered me or what, but he took his hat off to put it on my head. When I tell you I got the beat down of a lifetime, all I felt was fists, women jumping at me, grabbing me, and I was like, take the hat.
Take the hat back.
I never got the hat. I never got the hat. But that was such, to me, just the fact that he acknowledged me and he was going to give me his hat.
So I remember something about you in a red suit. Was that the same time? There was something about a red suit.
Yeah, I had on a red dress the time that I met him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was much slimmer and it was fitting. Yeah. Yeah. And he offered me
and that's when the WAP was really working.
Yeah.
Okay. So
by the way, I was literally about to say, but the red shows moisture, doesn't it?
I walked in the room and he stopped and said, would you like a glass of orange juice? And I was, Prince offered me orange juice.
It's orange juice made from the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
And I was so ready to drink it.
Where all the men are brave and all the women are beautiful. Stephen Hill, yes. I know it's hard for you to you got one memory that you want to share that you can't.
So yes, I'll do it really quickly. I'll flip the wheel. And tonight's memory is going to be after a show in London to show me a video. So my friend Ashley, my traveling buddy, Ashley, he invited us back to the room. He had done a version of Sexy Dancer, but it didn't have the piano solo. So we watched the video and he's doing some other stuff. And my friend says like, oh, I love what you did Sexy Dancer, but I missed the piano solo. And he looked up and said, you mean like this? And went over to the piano in his dressing room, banged out the solo and said, you mean like that? And then went back to doing what he was doing. I was like, well, that was just showing off right there.
And I appreciate you doing that for me, player.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like, you ever had something that happened and you're like, it's so cool, that like it may not have happened. And luckily, like there were two of us there because literally,
Did you just hear that?
Did you see that? We're like, did that really happen? And we're like, yes, it did. It was not age making us think of this differently. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, so many great memories. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. I appreciate your participating in the little game and also talking about how this goes. And Shantae Moore says that she loves Adore, DMSR, and Dirty Mind. And
yeah, but what Prince songs do you like though?
You know what?
Oh, you guys are just so freaking cute. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. All right, so now it's time to move to. Thank you, Shantae. We appreciate you. And don't. I think that message is just for you.
This is why I love her. This is why I love her. She takes the joke and amplifies it. She steps that.
Yes, Shantae, yes.
I don't know if this was a message or it was just a song. She said, don't forget head. All right. So let's move to the What You Need to Know newsletter.
And so much for the children's hour.
Okay. A newsletter.
Thank you, Sybil.
Sorry about
Thank you. Young Kwyn, you are up. Let's talk about your story in the What You Need to Know newsletter, which folks can subscribe to simply by going to SybilWilkes.com, and it's absolutely free. It'll be in your email box. And we have great stories like this. Kwyn, tell us about the blood shortage that is forcing the FDA to reassess requirements of donorship by queer men.
Yes, so currently LGBTQ advocates and more than 24 members of Congress, including 4 Democratic members of the House Oversight Committee and 2 openly LGBTQ members of the House, Rep. Richie Torres from New York, as well as the Rep. Mark Takano, who's a Democrat from California, are pressing that the Federal Drugs Administration, the FDA, reassess its current blood donation policy on men who have sex with men. I'm not sure if you guys know, but restriction on gay and bisexual men donating blood stemmed from the height of the AIDS epidemic back in the 1980s. And in 1983, the federal government placed a lifetime ban on men who have sex with men from donating blood in an effort to keep HIV out of the blood supply. 3 decades later, the ban was replaced with a 1-year abstinence requirement, but it hasn't been until recently in 2020, amid the earlier pandemic-induced blood shortage, that the FDA decreased the donation deferral period for men who have sex with men from 12 months to 3 months of abstinence. Now, in the letter that has been sent to the Department of Health and Human Services, Secretary Xavier and FDA Acting Commissioner Dr. Janet Woodcock, and signed by a group of 22 U.S. senators, in this letter, they said that any policy that continues to categorically single out the LGBTQ plus community is discriminatory and wrong. Given advances in blood screening and safety technology, a time-based policy for gay and bisexual men is not scientifically sound, and it continues to effectively exclude an entire group of people.
Yes.
It does not meet the urgent demands of the moment. So right now we are like in this international blood shortage. And if the FDA were to lift the donor bans, the annual blood supply would increase by 2 to 4%. So from 345,000 pints of blood annually to over 615,000 pints of blood annually. And this is according to the Williams Institute at the UCLA School of Law. And so we know that donating blood is important. It's even more important for the Black community when we think about sickle cell, which is a disease that primarily affects African American. But I think it's very, very crucial that the FDA do reassess this type of rule that has historically been rooted in homophobia, as a time that really like all we need is each other. So,
wow. The restrictions on this just seem so ridiculous, even back then. But now, even a 3 month, because I was like, damn, 3 months, really? You're really cutting off some good donations there.
A lifetime to 3 months, from 12 months to 3 is just like, what is this? It doesn't even scientifically make sense anymore. So it's just like, come on.
And so will they do that for people who have had COVID?
I don't know. I was looking at the FDA sites to see, like, not even FDA, the Red Cross, when they're listing if you can donate blood if you have COVID. They did say they are implementing where people have to present a negative test within the past 3 weeks before they donate. But I didn't see like specific restrictions as of right now. So, but I know that they need blood. I know we're doing a blood drive actually in February 10th on campus.
Oh, good.
Because I didn't know this blood shortage was a really big thing right now.
While we have you, can you tell us the date of the great world premiere of Rise on the campus, where you attend school, and what the date will be?
Yes,
for Black History Month?
My brother's play that he wrote for Western Illinois University will premiere on campus February 22nd at 7 p.m. in Macomb, Illinois. It is open to the community. If you want to make that drive from LA, from Georgia, from wherever, come on down. I will take you to Red Lobster. Ain't no Papa out here. I will take you to La Continita. I will take you to McDonald's. Okay, baby. I'll give you, like, we'll be in my Kia Soul just whipping it. But it's free. So y'all come out.
How do we not know she drives a Kia Soul?
It's the safest car.
I'm just talking about the name. just talking about the name. Also, we have moved our Black and Missing section from Thursdays to Wednesdays, as we now are in our check-in and check-up for your health segment that is on Thursdays. And so today we're looking at the Black and Missing and Devontae Morgan, a 30-year-old Black man who's been missing for the last year and a half or so. He was last seen May 5th, 2020. And they say that police in Mount Shasta, California, found surveillance footage showing Devontae walking through the city on the morning of May 5th. After an hour, footage lost sight of him. And they are wanting to find this young man, as I said, for about a year and a half. He's been missing. If anyone with information on Devontae's disappearance should go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. So please check out that story on the What You Need to Know newsletter. And also talking about the coronavirus. And of course, I don't know if any of you have gone to covidtests.gov and ordered your free COVID test. Everybody gets 4 to a household.
Yes, we should get more, but it's fine.
You got the hookup?
I've been hoarding them like since the very beginning. Like Pookie on the corner got me like 5. And so I have more than I use now. So now the thing that messes me up, and now that ruins my black market, like completely decimated my black market. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how many people kind of save theirs. And for those of us living in a single household, single occupant household, maybe we could, make a little on the side, a little cash on the side. And, once people run out of yours in your
household, give them away for free.
No.
Or buy them for me. Listen, or you could buy them for me for $25.
See what I'm saying?
No, doesn't, no. All right.
$25. The results should come with it.
A negative.
Right, I'm just saying. I got that test hookup with the results.
and these are
that's what I get for being a whore.
Durr. And I want to give a shout out to people who have had to wait a long time to get their COVID results. For instance, Sister, it should not have taken her a full week to get her COVID results. Andrea, I'm very sorry. And apparently she's not alone. People are having to wait a long period of time to get their results. But in the meantime, you're in a household with others and people are trying to maintain their distance, but it's not so easy to be like that school teacher mother who put her kid in the trunk of the car while she was trying not to catch the COVID.
Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean,
exactly. But that is that information is in the newsletter. How to get your and actually we were able to go on a day early and on the website and get your, and it takes like that long to do it. Just give them your name and your address, and it's not as if you're giving away personal secrets. They got all this information already.
It's like name, address, email.
And then they say, "Oh, that's correct."
Right.
So that's
people always
also...
get killed. You give Big Brother all your information. Do you really think the government can't find you? Who are you, the invisible man? You really think you can hide from the federal government?
Right.
When we were doing the census, we got into a serious argument at the post office because see, now you're doing all that and the government, bruh. What special skills do you have that the government can't find you? Because I need to know that, okay?
How ridiculous. And not to mention, what they're putting in that vaccine. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Nothing worse than what you've already put in your body.
Okay, and you've already had the polio shot and the measles, mumps, rubella shot. And yeah.
On top of that, right. Right.
And heaven forbid if you ever ate spam and hot dogs as a kid.
I was gonna say,
don't forget, Myra, my favorite, the Vienna sausages.
I was gonna say them little Vienna sausages in the can.
Stephen Hill's looking perplexed. You've never had a Vienna sausage?
Really? Wow. Are you serious?
My mama loved me.
That's very funny.
Whatever.
Wait, Kwyn, are you really getting defensive on Vienna sausages?
I'm getting defensive because you think my mama don't love me. And
whoa! I just said mine love me. I didn't say nothing about your mama.
You didn't have to. I'm just letting you know my mama did love me. Okay.
I didn't know about your mama.
We ate Vienna sausages. I know about sardines. I know about grilled cheese sandwiches. I know about Campbell's.
Do you know about grilled cheese sandwiches made on the part of an iron?
Yes, and I'm with the skillet, and I know about ramen noodles, all that. So don't come for my mama.
I almost went for ramen noodles today.
What you know about that spam? What you know about that spam?
Hoghead cheese.
I just don't like spam.
I don't either.
It's the only thing I didn't get with. But
not so much the spam.
Potted meat. That's right.
Rosemary Smith asked on YouTube, what about that potted meat? Myra, please tell people what potted meat is.
Yes.
Whatever's left. When they get this, they just mash it up and put it in the pot, slap a label on it. That's what it is. It's the mystery meat of the month.
Okay. Mystery hogshead cheese, Myra?
My grandma.
Hoghead.
Would give us just the title of it would just sound nasty. Hoghead cheese. Yeah, we used to have hoghead cheese. Mm-hmm.
What did it taste like? Liverwurst. Shirley, is that Shirley Tony Davis on YouTube?
Worst.
Liver is and always will be the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of the worst, Donald Trump is back and he is putting his racist lies to work at his recent rally.
And there's no other way to say it right now. And please go. Sorry.
Shantae.
That's okay. For Shantae. Donald Trump was at his rally amongst all of his people. He was in the midst of it in Arizona on Saturday, and he stated that public health authorities are practicing race-based medicine, denying the COVID-19 vaccine to white people due to their race.
What?
There is a policy in the state of New York that had to do with a certain antiviral medication. And because people of color were so adversely affected by the coronavirus, that when the medication was in limited supply, that Black people and Hispanics would get first choice or get first in line for this. But he just expanded it all the way to saying that every white person who wants a vaccine has to go to the back of the line. And so, that got everybody, and the fact checkers are going, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And of course, it's Donald Trump at his best, lying and trying. But here's the crazy part. All of those people are the same people who were booing him, who are angry about Black people getting the vaccine or getting the oral medicine, the viral medicine. Those people are the first ones that booed him when he said he got boosted. They don't want the vaccine. They just want to be mad about something and have their racism exposed and as they join his merry little band of racists.
Look, he's just deflecting. He needs to be concentrating on how to get a vaccine from Letitia James. Okay, because she all up in there. Okay, they're all up in there and got papers to prove it.
And working on more.
Yes,
absolutely right. But
didn't somebody's phones? Didn't the kids' phones get confiscated this week or something? Didn't they get subpoenaed?
That's part of the story that has come out, and we did not talk about that because we were talking about the president. But the New York State has included some more wants some more information that includes texts and things that were on the kids' phones, and so and that is the 3 Trump children. That's Ivanka, the favorite, and the other 2.
Yes, and then
wait, hold on. Okay. Is Barron included? Because one thing, trust me, I know from experience that you don't want to see a 16-year-old's texts. So is Barron included in this? Or
well,
he gets a pass.
If the 16-year-old is included, it would be Eric, because he seemingly. But I don't think young Barron is, and not if his mama has anything to say about it, for sure.
Yeah, and they've also just come out and said that they have proof now. Stephen, you were talking about property assessments. That they're now saying, and we have proof that these figures don't match what you're saying your buildings are worth, and what the IRS is saying that they're worth. They don't match. That constitutes fraud. Oh yeah.
But who hasn't committed a little fraud with it? Whose name is Trump? All right, so it's time for entertainment, and I don't know if this is a part of entertainment, Kwyn, but I saved the story for you, simply because it had to do with social media. There was a surgeon who is apologizing for posting pictures from a procedure that she performed on a patient. Yeah. Dr. Nicole Williams, a member of...
Don't say you ain't got to say it.
I have to. It's a part of the story. She is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She shared photos and information about surgery she performed on January 13th on a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She removed fibroids from this woman. The fibroids were sitting on the table next to Dr. Williams, who performed the surgery, like 20-something fibroids.
22. She said 22 for the founder.
For the founder. Okay. Okay.
Please. Oh, please.
They showed the fibroids.
I hope the story ends the way I think it's going to.
Okay, hang on. And this was all done on Founders Day. Okay, so 22 Delta Sigma Theta, and she thought that she'd show some pride as she did the. I don't feel that I can do the, what do you guys do with your hands?
Oh my gosh.
Huh? Yeah, that. Okay. So she did that in front of the fibroids and put it on social media. She got blasted for it. She's deleted the original post and backtracked, saying it was a terrible decision. She unequivocally and prayerfully apologized for any hurt she may have caused. A lot of outrage came from folks who felt she was violating the patient's privacy, which she was, in order to promote her sorority. I am a GDI, but I love Delta Sigma Theta. I love Alpha Kappa Alpha. I love all the sororities and the fraternities.
You ain't say
that
Zeta.
Seemed to be a bit much.
She said all.
I have a question. I'm not a sorority member either, so I don't have a dog in this fight. But can you be put out of a sorority or fraternity?
Yes, for hazing, for any of that. You know that whole show, Sorority Sisters, that was back in the day. All of them got.
But could she be kicked out of sorority for this?
I don't think for this.
Yeah.
Really?
This is
The 20, let me, and what Kwyn was saying before just to backtrack a little bit, the 22 had to do with the 22 founding members of Delta Sigma Theta when they were founded in 1913. And as they
Monday, January 13th, 1913.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Howard University. Yeah.
That's a part of all of that you need to memorize.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And of course, so Kwyn, your thoughts.
It's crazy because my little sister sent this picture to me, and at first she just sent a Twitter leak, and I was thinking she was talking about something else. But I viewed it, and I was like, wow, like the caption, she was like, wow, can't believe like I took out 22 fibroids on the AKA 22 for Founders Day, and I'm just like,
yeah.
It was just super, super cringy, and seeing the fibroids right there, and she's just like,
I know.
posting up with the symbols. It's like, ooh, this comes out so much more cuter, and I just felt so bad for the patient.
Right.
It's like, is this not a HIPAA violation? Like, where?
Right.
But the thing is, when you post something on the internet, it never goes away. Like, it's been reposted.
Deleted means nothing.
I don't even know like where she pledged, but I'm pretty sure her profile is about to tear. Dead ass up.
Did she? But she didn't. But she didn't arrange the fibroids in the shape of a pyramid.
Stop it.
No.
See, I thought you were going to go there.
Oh, that would have been the move. Oh, be clear. Okay, y'all can say what y'all want to, but y'all pay attention to this story. That would have been the move. All right, whatever. Oh, Stephen, I can't believe y'all think the same thing. Whatever.
You're funny.
No, it went viral. I don't even know if she's gonna be able to practice again. That's what I'm thinking.
See, that's the other part of it.
Is she gonna be able to practice again? Who took the picture?
What will the medical association say? The AMA?
That was a horrible decision on her part.
Yeah, that was not a. God bless you, doctor. I don't know. Okay. So, and one more thing, Stephen Hill, they have announced the new date and location for the Grammys.
They certainly have.
Vegas on April 3rd.
Yes. Those of you who may not be familiar with country music, that means that the Country Music Channel, CMT, Central Country Music Television Awards, which were previously supposed to be on CBS on that night, got to move. Second year in a row that the Grammys moving because of COVID has made a major show move off their date, right? Last year was the Screen Actors Guild. They had to move because of the Grammys. This year, it's the CMTs. It's a longer story, but everybody in my company was kind of giggling at that. So.
How do they even have
let us close with Yogi's Jewels. Today, service to each other adds to the harmonic flow of the universe. So inhale service and exhale selfishness.
Ooh. Till you get enough.
I'm still exhaling. All right, you guys, thanks for a great day. I appreciate it. Great conversation and all the laughs and thought-provoking moments. Thanks so much. See you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Look at him.